Hey guys, and welcome to the 28th installment of Updated Builds, a series of videos where I go back over Warframes that I already made one or more videos about and I bring their builds up to date. Now today we're gonna take a look at a Limbo where I only use one build that focuses primarily on melee, and it is the most busted setup in the entire game. Because if played well, this setup will make you feel like a god. And don't worry, they're not gonna nerf Limbo just because I made a video about him and called him really good, because I and many others have been saying this since his rework and it's still the same, nothing has changed. So here is what the build looks like. The aura I'm using is Energy Siphon just to get some more energy ticking, however it's not that necessary, especially if you're running the Xenoric Focus School, because you get energy from Energy Dash and Energy Siphon even in the Rift. Then I'm using Print Continuity and are reminded for a ton of duration. This makes my abilities last about 50 seconds, which is more than enough. And this, with the constant energy ticks you get from Energy Siphon and Streamline, means that you can keep going forever. You don't even need to pick up energy orbs. After that, I'm using Cunning Drift, Stretch and Augur Reach to balance out Narrow-Minded and get some extra range for Cataclysm, so it covers a decently sized area and I don't have to recast it too much, which is followed up by Natural Talent for faster cast time on both Stasis and Cataclysm. This makes the whole build feel a lot smoother. Then I'm using the Rift Torrent Augment, which augments Rift Surge and makes it give you 30% extra damage for each enemy affected by Rift Surge while you're in the Rift. And I'm using this to scale damage on my melee weapon where I have a pretty beefy Condition Overload setup. And to top it all off, I'm using Quick Thinking to prevent one-shots when I'm transitioning from Cataclysm into the Rift by dashing, or I'm just recasting Cataclysm or even Stasis. Now when it comes to Arcane, since the majority of your damage is gonna come from melee, I would personally go for Arcane Fury, which gives you a 10% chance on a crit to increase melee damage by 120% for 12 seconds, and Arcane Strike, which gives you a 10% chance on hit to increase melee attack speed by 40% for 12 seconds. Now here's what you want to do with the setup. So first of all, you want to dash into the Rift, then we're gonna spawn some enemies to fight. You then want to activate Stasis and slap down Cataclysm. Boom. Once Cataclysm is down, you want to activate Rift Surge and start meleeing stuff. This is, in my opinion, the best endgame setup when it comes to the Grenier and the Infested because of how safe it is and how much damage it can do. The damage may not be as crazy as it is on Peacemaker Mesa, or if you're using Ash with the Seeking Shuriken augment and you're stripping away all the enemy armor, but the added safetiness of you freezing everything inside your Cataclysm is just amazing. The only weakness of this setup is the Corpus. Yeah, it just does not work versus the Corpus because of nullifiers in combined Scrumbus units. It's the same thing as it was with Mag, they just won't let you do what you need to do, whether it is a nullifier field touching your Cataclysm and instantly collapsing it, which is certain death, or even a combat or a Scrumbus unit randomly turning off your Stasis, which is also certain death. But that's it, it works and it's super effective versus all the Rathum Executioners. And it also works versus the majority of the index mini-bosses. The only ones that are problematic are the combat and Scrumbus units that either turn off your Stasis or deactivate your Cataclysm. So if you want to have no risk easy mode Rathum, this is definitely the setup to go for, because you can freeze all the executioners with Stasis and you can dash in and out of Rift even without energy, so you can wait in the beginning to get some energy to start casting stuff. And if you want to have easy mode index most of the time, because once again there are some units that will completely screw you over, you can use this setup as well, especially since you can plop your Cataclysm on the enemy base, which means they can't go in and cash in points. And with the changes to Cataclysm, you can now pick up index points in Cataclysm as well. It is kind of risky because you can get a bad set of enemies and they will constantly either collapse your Cataclysm or deactivate your Stasis, and it's not as fast as some other setups, but it's definitely not bad by any means. It's also super chill when it comes to stuff like Capture, Spy, or even the weekly Maru mission. You can simply dash into the Rift and then sprint through the entire mission, not worrying about a damn thing. I love this setup so much, mainly because it's completely up to you. If you play it well, you can do amazing things, but if you balls it up, well, you're probably gonna die. It sometimes feels like you're just straight up cheating when you get into the rhythm and you keep everything going and you're just butchering waves of enemies without them being able to do a damn thing. You're no longer playing by the game's rules with this setup, the game is playing by your rules. You tell it what to do and when to do it. And it's super satisfying when you're playing it well, so I would definitely recommend you check this setup out. It is just amazing. Now, if you do indeed want to check this setup out, but you don't have the forma yet and you're not quite sure how to do it, the best way to forma, in my opinion, is to simply put on all the mods, and if they don't fit, look for the one with the highest capacity drain that's shared between all your builds, forma for that, and do that until all your mods fit. And I thank you also very much for watching. As always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and it was helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.